you know.
Hello.
Um,
Good evening.
so let's quickly, because it's been 3 weeks before the holiday stuff things. So let's go over a little bit of what happened last session. You guys were on Beliterra. You found out about Emma and Leaf, and Beliterra the goddess as well.
Yeah, she seemed chill, unlike everyone else.
So let's go over a little. Oh, and I hear an echo. I think that's Danny. Okay, got it. I was like,
that's the stream.
Yeah, no, that was me. That was me. Don't worry about it.
okay. I was like, is it on my end? Do I need to do something? No, I did not. I need to just sit here. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so you met the goddess Volaterra, and he ended up using Fortuna's hand mark to seek out Asteri, and then there you were. There Asteri is.
What up? We on a new planet.
Basically.
Yeah, we found Grandma.
And that's basically where we left off.
Oh god.
I feel like everyone is really tense and not sure what's going to happen. Neither do I. That's the fun part.
Oh god. Yeah, Astra is just staring. Like, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Oh no. Go ahead. No, I'm acting.
Yeah, Astra is just staring. What is exactly the tableau we have found ourselves?
What is the what? Sorry.
Tableau. Wait, like, is
What
she in a
is
cage
the-
right now?
Yeah, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so Asteri is in a cage. Naomi is there as well. So I have to adjust the volume.
Birch is really happy to
Okay.
see Naomi.
Yeah. So it's like a dark room. You guys are kind of in like a cave or whatever. It feels like it's very dark. You don't really see much to describe anything except for like, you know, the cave walls. And then there's a very like almost glowing cage with a very large goddess in it. Let's make Asteri 6'7". Sure.
Are we
why not?
back in high school English? Because this feels like Plato's allegory.
Look, I never read that, so you can't accuse me of plagiarism, okay?
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
What does Asteri look like?
So I don't think I ever got around to drawing her. But she is darker toned, has let's see, brown eyes and curly hair, and like I said, she's around 6'7".
Yeah.
Not me.
I made all the goddesses taller, but I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's good. Yeah.
That's
Oh my
like
god.
possible
Larger
for
than life.
it to be.
Yeah.
So that is new. Where the fuck are we?
Well,
Ah,
it shouldn't be new to you, Fortuna. You've been here before.
Really?
Well,
yes.
kinda.
Sure about
This is true, but it was never in a physical form
Yes, this is my first
with
time.
other people.
Yes, this time
Yeah,
is
I'm
more...
a bit confused about all this too.
I'm sure you all have many questions. I do
I
as
have
well,
another
but
character
I will...
question.
Oh, no.
Is that Volterra speaking?
No, that's Asteri.
Oh, okay. So that is Asteri. This is why
Asteri. Wait, Asteri's in the cage though, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
she's talking to us.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we can hear her. She can talk.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yes. And she can hear you. And everything is normal, unlike before.
And everything is normal.
Everything is normal. There's
Everything.
nothing odd about this situation. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, so, and Naomi is like, oh, yes, so, what's going on? Exactly. And Asteri is like, I believe that, somehow they have been able to travel here. Yeah, I can actually see them this time. Is this real? Yes, as far as I can ascertain. Doesn't that mean like that Radin's gonna know? Yes. Yeah.
All right, so whatever we're gonna do, let's be quick about it.
Yes. That does seem prudent.
So,
I
are we? I have completely lost my accent. Somebody else talk.
That's like I'm trying to remember what Volterra sounds like.
Oh,
is
Um,
Volterra still there?
Yeah, Volterra's still there.
Okay.
can Birch run up
Um,
to Naomi and ask if the other moth people are safe? I don't remember what we are. Lunala or whatever?
I
Yeah,
don't remember what we're called, but
And
I
for the
probably.
rest of us
so
safe.
that's fine.
Yes, my dear child, they are safe for now. I'd hope that you guys have been able to join us to help us, but I was hoping it would be less dramatic and less loud. So I guess we'll go with the original plan, and we'll make sure that your family is safe, of course.
So this
Birch is-
plan, do the rest of us get to be clued in on it?
The what?
The plans that you just referred to.
Yes, of course, we will all need all of your help if you're willing to provide it.
Absolutely. Let's just get the Cliff Notes version of it, though.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to know who knows what. Okay, so the tiefling is the one that was here before, right, Asteri? Yes, that is correct. And then, of course, Birch lives here, so they know a lot. And then the rest of you are basically clueless, right?
Pretty much.
Okay.
You know, I would
I'm your
say that
granddaughter.
despite me being here before previously, I am still quite clueless.
Well,
And Birch, how much do you know?
I guess at this point Birch is flying around the cave and like trying to find the exit.
Okay.
There we go.
all right,
Lovely.
so I am Naomi. I believe that Asteri said that the people of Ratera believe me to be the goddess of the oceans, and while it is true that I do have some sway over the oceans, I'm actually the goddess.
Oh, that was me.
Uh-oh.
Well,
What,
Fortuna temporarily goes back to wherever the fuck we were before.
oh, good luck to her.
Oh no!
Phases in and out of reality.
Let's use our portal.
I guess the portal was not as structured as we thought, and well,
Hey.
I guess I will take this time to say that Astra's face is she still looks struck dumb and it's like
Sorry.
it's all good.
I went to respond to a DM, and for some reason, it wanted to kick me into video and made a video call on the DM.
Nice.
So that was fun.
Whoops.
Anyways,
Oh,
continue.
difficult.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Astra
Yeah.
looks how Oh, I need to.
I think there's a play of emotions and it's just this rap.
And I haven't dropped any frames technically because we restarted. Perfect.
Oh,
0% dropped frames.
Yeah. sure.
Okay. Back to where we were a second ago.
So Naomi has some sway over the oceans, but I am actually
Yeah, so I'm actually the goddess of this moon, which is one of the two moons that is around Ratera. And anyways, back 3,000 years ago, all the gods and goddesses lived in harmony. Well, you know, close enough. And basically there was this conflict. We'll get into that later, but it caused Radin and Valizon to distrust Asteri, the leader, the mother of all of the gods and goddesses. And they both had different feelings about it, but they both knew they wanted to be in charge. So to start this conflict, they started a war with each other. And of course, this distressed Asteri very much. However, Radin was able to trick her because she did not think that he would ever go against her. Well, I mean, it's not exactly that simple, but you know. and he was able to trap her in this cage, which basically gave him the power to control travel between everywhere instead of anyone else. It's kind of limited to him, and that symbol you have essentially, kind of, not really. It's more complicated than that. Basically, the first portal that you created down on Rotera was created by Raden's people, so that's why that worked. And then this one, Asteri still has a little bit of power, so I assume that that's why you're here again. Is that right, Asteri? Yes. I felt them calling to me, and I answered, and now they are here, I guess. And
So,
so now that's basically where we are.
so this
Right.
is all over like a 3,000-year beef between gods?
Yeah,
Sounds about
basically.
right.
But 3,000 years where no one has talked except for Raden has been in Velizon's area invading.
You guys need to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
no idea.
Has,
Anyways,
has
there's no,
she looked at me?
you can tell that she's like looking at you out of the side of her eye or whatever. Like she doesn't want to look directly at you, but she knows something's going on, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Get over here.
Anyways, Asteri, there's no reason for you to be in this cage, right? Like, it is pretty clear that I am not working with Raden right now, right? Yes, I suppose, we should do away with the whole theatrics. And, the cage opens
So-
up, and Asteri walks out.
Not
Why did
If it was theatrics, if you could walk out at any time and you didn't truly need help in such a way. I'm staring her dead in the eyes. I'm not letting her look away.
yeah,
I'm confused.
this is like that cartoon thing that's between the bars, and you're like, you fuck. Roger rabbiting this
Was
situation.
there even a reason?
Raden still has power over me. It's just not as much as he thought. He still controls the travel for the most part. He still controls most of my power. I just have a little bit more than he thought, thanks to Naomi's help.
And was that why it was necessary to deceive him in return? Is
Yes.
to use his own royal family against him? Is that the only reason why?
Well, I had hoped for things to be a little bit simpler for you down there. I didn't expect for Raden to find out about your true nature, or for him.
How could he not? Or at the very least, I do not know what he knows of me, for he has not spoken to me, which is heartrending in its own right. How could you expect things to be simple?
Well, simple isn't the word that I would use, I suppose. You're correct on that. It's just that, these things were more planned out of desperation than out of ease of choice.
Was it random? You have no say in who I was?
I wasn't planning for you to be thought of as the royal family directly, as you may know.
What does that mean?
Well, you are not the king's daughter.
She goes even paler, and her face is once again covered
What
in
is
shame.
she?
You know,
to
you
you?
gods need to learn how to talk
Yeah,
to
can-
people.
And now I know you for a liar. Tell me the truth.
Oh,
Yeah, can we stop traumatizing the child for that?
Let me say this. The one time that we were able to communicate with you, Astra, that Naomi did, Raden returned to this world, this system. It
You
was
know, I do not take accountability for any of these actions.
You will not be held responsible.
And you claim as such? Why you... Have you even heard me over these years? Have my words been reaching anybody?
Yes, I've heard you, my child. Every time.
Don't call me that.
I won't, then, of course.
I've learned a lot of things about Raden that do not make me believe he is worthy of the esteem I once held him in. However, I have not chosen you. I do not even know you or what you believe in, just that I was never going to have a simple life. I understand that. And I do not wish for ignorance.
CSC is a bit aside the point, but did you even choose Roden? You say you did not choose her, but it does kind of sound like you didn't have much choice in the matter beforehand either. Sounds a bit like brainwashing.
I am an adult. I have agency. I have grown up with Raden's worship, but that did not mean that I did not choose to become a cleric. I could have done otherwise. I could have slacked off in my studies. I could have turned away from my destiny and become a wastrel.
You just called it destinies, though. That sort of tells me that
Fortuna.
you were. Yes.
Take the time. Now, Mrs. Asteri, let's get a move on with this. If we're so limited for time, I think you do have a lot to make up for with my friend here, but we, I think, have more pressing matters if Mr. Sunshine's on the way.
Yes. Yes.
And considering that everything you have said in the past has been a lie, I don't think that will go over very well to see him either.
I'm sorry, what are you referring to? I'm totally...
So we are all in hot shit right now.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Well, all I will say is that I am definitely not infallible. I do not hold myself up as the perfect ideal as Raden and Valazan do. But I am trying my best. And for now, the best...
Try.
That was said quietly in a very... Oh yeah, she's... You know, she said she's an adult, but she's a young adult.
A little bit of gas.
For now, the best that we can do is prepare the villagers for whatever may come.
Who is preparing the people back at my home and our home?
Well, I figure that conflict may arise here first because I am here. But
they are already marching through the portal with their soldiers who cannot die.
Their soldiers will be able to die as long as Valaterra is here, correct? Yes. I do not exactly have the power to raise them from the dead from here.
That is aside the point!
Yes. You're right, of course. Okay. So, we need to figure out what we can do to stop the armies on the ground. And we need to do what we can to figure out what to do when Raden arrives. Okay.
You said we are short on time. Exactly how short on time are we? Are we talking minutes or hours? Or days?
Travel takes time. Rodin is assumedly on Rodterra. I doubt he will make action with haste. I would assume we have at least a few days.
Here, we have a few days here.
Right. So let's get a move on and keep talking elsewhere.
Well, Fortuna brings up an excellent point. We have multiple fires to put out. The question is, which one do we think would do the most help?
You refer to the we as if we are the problem here, as if we are the ones who started it. This is your shit that you have dragged us into.
That is correct. I'm referring to you as the solution, not the problem. But it is, of course, your choice what you choose to do.
Not
We're
so
ta-
cowardly that I would abandon my people. No matter who I must work with to accomplish such goals.
But that.
This is like bickering of gods. Like, I'm sorry. What stopped you from? Clearly, there are other gods who have beef with Mr. Big Man.
Yes.
You could have left it. What stopped you from going around and making a little cadre?
I don't have as much power for travel as you think I do.
And how long have you actually not been stuck in a cage? Like,
And so you just happen to wait or pull little strings to force some poor soul into being your personal portal?
Well, Fortuna kind of fell into my lap more than pulling strings. Her actions were her own.
I'm sorry. So,
I
are we people or are we tools?
Sometimes, as a goddess, is easy to lose sight of people versus tools. I feel like I've done my best, but occasionally, yes, people have to be put to a use. And that is not because I see you as my unequal, but because you're the only ones who can deal with this issue.
How many years have you been waiting? Why is it now?
Naomi.
I brought back a god.
Sorry. Naomi has come to my side relatively recently, within the last few hundred years. She was always sympathetic, but never openly defiant to Rodin. Well, covertly defiant to Rodin. I was able to, with her help, create you, Astra. Well, not you, but your heritage, if you will. You are your own person, of course. Don't forget that. And that,
We'll remember this. No, sorry.
Yeah.
and Fortuna's, incident happened around 5 years ago. And you know that a few weeks ago there was an incident that required contacting you.
Do you speak of... Do you know what opened the portal in the first place? The one that set this off. Not the one going from there to here, but the one going from Rodterra
Where I came from.
to elsewhere.
Rodin
Yeah, and
found
also
out
how Birch got here.
Rodin found out about our contact with you almost immediately. He set out an expedition to the forest that you know about. The automatron helped clear the area and it was imbued with magical power. Birch came over before you guys got there through the portal, and then it was directed to Velizon's area with the help of with Luther and his group.
So, what you're saying, that portal was opened in order to let Rodin back into this system?
The portal was open to allow Raden to acclimate more troops to Valizon's area.
What does that have to do with them attacking Birch's people? Or were they always?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I forget I said that. I'm sorry. I forgot my own lore for a minute.
No, you're good.
Where
the
is it?
portal-
We're from.
Yeah, I would love
Okay,
From
so
Rotera.
let's go out of
quick
character for a
refresher on
second.
names.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rotera is where you guys are from.
Okay.
Raden,
With the exception of Birch.
with the exception of Birch, Raden opened up a portal to Naomi, the moon, because at the point the message was sent out, he couldn't trust Naomi anymore.
Okay.
So he was going to forcibly take over the moon and
Gotcha.
hold Asteri captive himself. But then Luther overtook the portal.
Right, because it was already open, so he was able to redirect it.
Yes.
All right.
So Naomi is the name of the moon and the goddess?
Yeah, every planet and sun has a name that matches the planet or sun and the god or goddess.
Okay, and
And
remind me, Rotera, not Rotera,
Wouldn't it be
the one that Valterra is from.
Sorry.
What is that called again?
Sorry, what?
The one that Valterra, the one we were on temporarily for like a week.
That's
or 2
Velizon's
days.
system. Velizon's system. Which
And-
is why she's named Veliterra.
Yeah, I figured.
So why is Valterra, who seems to be a bit of a pacifist, who do the people on Valterra or Valizon answer to
Valizon.
god-wise?
Valizon.
Okay, so Valizon has 2 gods. Valterra.
Valizon's the sun.
Valizon's the sun. Valiterra is the upper planet.
Right. So technically, it's the Velizon system, but technically it is Valterra that they're on. Like we're on Rotera,
Yeah.
and our sun is Raden.
Yep.
And Naomi is the moon
Yep.
and the goddess. So each planet is it's like the Greek gods, truly in truth.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
Roman.
Roman, yeah, sorry.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Or it's like that one Adventure Zone.
No, I didn't copy from. I've never watched the adventure. I'm just kidding.
Roman gods you'll copy. No. Okay.
All right, I think we're back up to speed
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
mentally. We've
So-
done the math.
Back into.
There was a lot of planets involved, and they were the same name as gods and goddesses. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
All right.
So
Okay,
who's
which one is it
Rotera?
Right now?
Where's Rotera?
Rotera is our planet.
Is that what you asked?
Yeah, but
we
who's
met
the god?
Rotera, yeah.
Did you ask
Okay.
that in character?
No.
Okay.
I mean, do it. would we know?
I mean,
I
you
feel like
could
we
kind of
have-
figure it out by this point. Yeah.
Okay, let me roll.
Okay.
We have a pantheon, right?
hmm
So wait. Rodan is the sun,
Yes.
and he's an ass.
hmm
As in, who the fuck is Rotera? If I am connecting the dots properly, the planets are named, or the worlds that we inhabit are named for the gods that apparently rule over them.
Rotera was a goddess of the planets. I don't know her exact whereabouts now, although the planet still has life, so I assume she is alive. But when 3,000
For
years
now.
when 3,000 years ago happened, she was not on Raden's side. And as the sun god of her area, he was able to delete all history of her and remove her believers. And when she had no believers, she had no power.
Is the power of the gods to reach down and wipe all records?
The power of the gods directly above the other gods, yes. Not for me. My lineage works differently. but for Raden, Valzan, and the rest of them, which is why you'll find many, many lineage of gods and goddesses that have true fidelity to their sun god.
Because if they don't, they are forgotten.
So we just, again, need to get a whole bunch of gods to go up against this guy.
That is one plan, yes. I think it could work. It does raise issues that I'm sure Astra is already thinking about with the current warfare about to happen on Rotera.
And also considering that if we kill Rodin, what happens to the sun?
I would not recommend killing Raden, or... No, I would not recommend killing Raden. There are other methods, potentially.
If killing Rotera would kill all life on the planet, I would not want to see. Although, I think we have also seen that caging is of marginal effectiveness if he retains allies.
Something like that, although I am a bit of an exception. Raden doesn't know completely of my power. I created him, not the other way around.
Man,
Good point.
gods suck.
I cannot disagree at this time.
This time.
What if
This is why I only associated with them tangentially
What
and
if
when it served
you
me.
like took? What if? Could you make a new Raden?
That is one option that I'm considering, yes.
I worry
It would
that would
be...
cause the problem again eventually.
Well, the base
However-
problem was what I was working to fix whenever Raden decided to take it into his own hands. Of course, if I could find out what happened to Atlas, which is its own thing, then of course this could be solved. And Raden, well, I don't know if Raden will ever go back to being subservient, of course. It's a very big mess, as you know.
Who is Atlas?
I do not believe we have time to attempt to solve a problem which was causing even... You were not able to fix it before there was war and destruction. I cannot imagine that we have time to try to tackle it right now.
No,
You know-
I agree.
At the circus, when someone had beef with someone else, we would be like, alright, let's all sit together and figure out what the fuck is going on. It has been 3,000 goddamn years, and you haven't sought to just like
Well, again,
have a fucking dinner and talk about your problems?
travel between the systems has been impossible for all but my limited capacity and Raden's ability.
I
Okay,
think
but
you're
you're
also
fucking gods.
You're underestimating the size of their egos. I think too.
Potentially,
Have
yes.
you ever met circus folks? The eagles.
Have you ever met a god?
Well, not until
Several
like
at this
last
point.
week.
And from what we've seen so far,
Yeah, why the fuck should we help you? You kind of suck.
That is
Unfortunately.
a question that you have asked. You must ask yourself. Again, I would have considerable power to reward you financially or materially, Fortuna. And I believe that is the goal that you seek for now, though I would hope that you would grow from this, but that is...
If you are trying to get me on your side, insulting me is not the way to do it.
Fair enough.
I
At the very
Alright.
least, it would probably
Alright,
help.
So if we do this little errand, and I say little with a lot of quotes, you can get us basically anything. Right? You are God.
That's a little... I wouldn't put it quite that way, but... I mean, mortal lives are hard for me to comprehend. But I believe that I could give you a lot of what you want, yes?
Are there any planets that are not ruled by total assholes? Because I will move there.
Almost certainly, although I cannot speak to their status in the last 3,000 years. People change. Gods change as well.
Asteri,
Yes.
although I do not agree with Valizan or his methods at all, he is correct in one thing, in that my people have been following a false ideal for 3,000 years.
Yes.
If we help solve this, and we deal with Raden, not only will my people be deprived of who they think their god is, but will presumably have many enemies that they have not invoked themselves, nor they have also been led astray.
Yes, that is
And
one of the
have
bigger
suffered.
issues on my plate currently, yes.
If I do this, and I understand that the likelihood of my doing this is high, because I will not abandon. I do feel a sense of responsibility for it. But nevertheless, if I do this, I would require your help in helping reform, look after, make sure my people do not end up a burning husk for a god they have not spoken to in 3,000 years, for following what they believed were good ideals, what I believed were good ideals. Not perfect. I understand this. We do not deserve extermination.
Of course not. Over the last 10,000 years, I found that even though I directly created the sun systems, I have found more connection with mortals than I thought was possible. I still do not understand your ways entirely, but I would never dream of leaving your people as a sacrifice if I could stop it. That isn't something that I agree to do. That is something that I feel strongly I must do, and have felt that I must do.
Birch
And-
flies over and says, I also don't want the Lunala to be exterminated.
Of course, Birch. Don't worry, we're gonna do everything we can to stop that. We're gonna succeed, okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Birch is like,
Ugh.
are you sure?
The doubt is strong.
It's like, I love you, but
like, I want to go find my people. Birch continues looking for an exit.
Yeah.
I
I
do
think-
want to do an insight check on Asteri, as
Sure.
well, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, can I do the same? Because
Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to read how much she actually gives a shit.
Yeah, 21.
She oh jeez.
26.
Yeah,
Damn.
she feels it feels like she's you feel like she is very what's the word? She
Remorseful?
truly remorseful. She truly believes that she's made a huge mistake. The only issue is that she can't fix it without causing more problems. And you know, she knows that she's relying on people who don't really want to be relied on by a goddess. And she doesn't have any other options, and she's not sure how it'll work. But she does want what she said.
I think Astra is going to walk up to Asteri, and you can tell that I think anyone looking at her and like say Fortuna, who's got that massive insight score, can tell like for all her anger, it covers a lot of fragility. So she's going to walk up to Asteri and look her square in the face as best she can. Very tall, so she's going to hold out her hand. What is that? Is that the cultural? You know, I'm gonna say this. She's gonna hold out her hand
Mhm.
for a handshake.
I'm gonna write this lore right now.
It is cultural in the Galaran era. No, I'm just kidding.
No, thanks. Sometimes people bow.
She reaches out and says, "I've never really done this before, but it's fitting that I do it with you." And she shakes her hand.
I hope that her touching her immortal's hand doesn't instantly
Just
kill her.
go. No.
Like lightning suddenly
Fucking like Avengers Endgame, just right up the arm.
Oh, fuck. We didn't think
Give me
about
my wings. Give me my fucking wings. No. Shoot me to level 5 right now.
Did you say before? Real quick, Rolls question. That your wings are like they're just kind of too tiny right now.
like
No, they're there, but they are ethereal.
Okay, I was about to say because like you are on the moon, you could potentially fly, but I don't think you can still.
No, they're just not physical.
Okay.
Can stuff go through them?
Yes. It's like slow. It's like they're like a half step away from reality. That makes sense. So it's like moving through jello, but you can't quite feel it.
Weird.
Weird.
Are they like lagging when you walk? Like they like go.
No, it's not quite like that. They keep the same relative material place. They're just like half a step off of the dimension. And I will say that she does, I guess for that, when she shakes her hand, she does flare her wing. I guess is a statement. I don't know, trying to look bigger.
trying to look bigger next to this giant god, your tiny baby.
Yep.
Tiny baby.
Wait, is
Okay.
it gonna be me?
No, you're tinier, baby. You're.
She's 5'4", and this lady is 6'7".
Now, how do we get out?
Well, it
I found a
depends-
way.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Or just like,
Alright.
follow me.
They have been looking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just like you, Birch. Yes, this way. And Naomi follows Birch and then Asteri, and then you guys, if you want, can leave this way. But
Yeah, I guess following Birch.
they'll be walking
Yep.
and talking still. Okay. I believe the Velizon will take quite a while to start his invasion.
Are you sure? The armies looked like they were already marching through.
Yeah, they were going.
They
through
will
the
set up
portal.
fortification first, is my assumption. But
Yeah.
it's hard to tell. That's what they appear to be doing for the last 24 hours at least. And Radin will know soon of this whole thing. I don't know what extent he'll know. If last time he wasn't sure whether it was me or Naomi that acted. But
Will he consider you or Valizan the bigger threat?
for certain me, he didn't think that I had any power at all.
Even with Valizan actively fighting, his
Well-
attention will be on you.
The way that it is that I'm a child of his brother, and Asteri is his mother in a way. And power in gods and goddesses, it comes from beliefs, yes. But for Asteri specifically, as the source of the power, and the fact that the gods all believe in her, not necessarily worship her, she would...
I do want to mention that Astra does get a very weird look on her face as she processes the fact that in a very weird way she could be considered the sister of Radin.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
Weird.
Wild.
That make you my aunt?
What?
That is the wrong way for that dynamic to be going, but I think so.
Like at this point, Bethany is like very like at least half her brain is like dedicated right now to calculating like the family tree.
I'm like,
Does that mean that Asteri is Birch's great grandmother?
is it?
I don't know. I don't. I think you guys are putting too much mortal family values into lineage of gods and gods.
It's like that.
Yeah, meanwhile, me and Trent are like,
Trent
I
just
do want to pick up. I do want to poke on that point of like, is Birch directly related to the gods in the way that the Asimar are?
I didn't plan. I don't think so. But
I'm just from the moon, and I figured Naomi like created the moon life.
yeah.
yeah, no.
In a way, I mean, like I said, familial values don't make sense because you're not the same level as Raden, and Birch is
Yeah.
not the same level as you, but you're all children in some way of the lineage of Asteri. It's confusing, complicated stuff.
Just like actual fucking lineage stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to call you Raden's brother would be incorrect.
And yet.
But you could see it in that same view if you want to look at it from a very mortal lineage.
There's nothing.
Right, of course. If you want to believe that you are Raden's sister, you are well and truly allowed to do so.
We're gonna play that for as much as we can get.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, back to who's a bigger threat. So yes, I don't think that he would see me as much as a threat. I'm on the level of Raw if we're putting it that way. Naomi even less so.
What is? I think, as much as it pains me to say so, because one of my people are one of those fires that is lit. But I think one of the more pressing concerns is if Raden can truly erase those that are subordinate to him, what is stopping him from taking one of our few allies?
Well, it's complicated. Basically, whenever Raden did that, Ratera didn't have any allies. I was locked in a cage held by Naomi. Naomi was not yet willing to join Ratera. And now there's more power against him, you could say, I suppose.
Is it just you two? Or I guess three.
Yeah, 3 now.
Altera is.
There's a lot of pieces at play, and it isn't a two-person chessboard. I would count you all as pieces, of course, of your own volition and power. So it's complicated.
I am no fool. We may be on the board. We are far from players, and we are pieces, we are pawns, not knights or rooks.
Trent over there, speak for yourself.
I'm the bishop.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah, as you guys walk out, though, I want to say that someone speaks up from the cave and is like, "Aren't you guys forgetting something?" And Leaf and Emma are just like, they're like,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Nope.
let's
Didn't
be-
forget you.
So, are all adults this crazy, or is this
Yeah.
just like a
Welcome to politics.
yeah.
How about Birch goes over to them and says, "Let me introduce you to my family. I'm sure they'd like you."
Yeah, that sounds great. I would love to do that. Volterra, should we go? Yeah, yes, I think that would be the best course of action for now. Okay. I don't really know what's going on, but this is a cool place. I can jump really high here.
Astrid like tries to subtly test this without making herself look like a fool.
Did we just kidnap a child?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
She's a really
away
light-
from her family in any case.
They fell to their volition. It's not their
She's
fault.
almost an adult. I forget how old is she.
16. They're both 16.
Yeah, they're almost adults. They're plenty old enough to make their own decision.
Look, I think the least crazy thing that has happened is that you guys took us away from the forest, okay? Like, there's a lot more going on. Don't worry about my, Leaf's parents. Or, sorry, not Leaf's parents.
Emma's parents.
Yeah, Emma's parents. They're quite a ways away from what I can gather, if I've got this right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did already walk
Quite
away.
a ways away.
Good thing we got the payment up front.
For in monies that we will probably never use again.
Oh,
Yep.
God damn it.
Hey, it's metal.
It's
That
metal.
is true.
Everyone needs metal.
Everyone needs its values and needs metal.
Just don't try to use it without getting it minted. Well, actually, I don't know if forgery laws are on this moon. Birch?
I don't think there are. I don't think forgery laws existed yet.
There aren't any currencies on my planet, on my moon, of course. This isn't really
How do you know who's better than everyone else?
everyone has their own intrinsic value that cannot be compared.
Sounds fake, but okay. No.
Sounds great. I mean, money was just kind of a formality back at home, where
sounds
I'm from.
chaotic.
Birch says we just share everything. It's okay.
Jacob,
Oh,
you wanted to.
sounds like the circus.
Your
Well,
circuit sounds like a nice place for tuna.
Nice.
I
It's
can't
kind of like
say
back
I have-
home.
You know, it takes a certain type.
If someone needs something done, you just kind of did it.
Yes,
Did y'all-
that would describe this place beautifully, I think.
I think I like it here.
Okay.
I would love to meet your family, Birch. Why don't you take us too?
Yes, let's see the other books. Let's do.
So as you go through the tunnel, it's a long, winding path that has many branches, but and I'm assuming Birch doesn't know the way the whole way, just like the direction, and Naomi kind of takes the lead.
I thought that cattail was a breadstick for a second. I did it, and I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, that's not a breadstick. No, Jacob. Everybody, give Jacob attention. Look at him.
Oh,
What a noodle.
What a noodle.
What a boy.
He's so cute.
Go away.
Yeah. I think as we walk, Astra is gonna just quietly drift over to Bethany and just
Hello, niece. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. No, I think she's just gonna quietly lean on her for support a little bit.
Oh,
Oh.
Like just
emotional cuddle time.
just keep moving. She's still walking and she's not being, but she does like grab her hand and you can feel her hands shaking.
Give you a little hand to squeeze.
Oh,
She doesn't
Right.
say anything, but
So Birch probably is unfamiliar with this tunnel, but
Yeah.
what, you didn't know where the gods were hidden in your whole world? Did the secret god tunnel wasn't like a favorite
was
terrain?
it like just on Google Maps?
Yes, Uncle.
It wasn't a tourist.
I think they would have some skills in being able to find their way through the tunnel relatively quickly.
Well, yeah, just follow the airflow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you do in a cave. You figure, where's the air coming from?
I was
The
about to
entrance.
I was about to make a bat joke where like Trick just like screams for no reason. He's like,
Ah.
Yeah, I haven't been in a lot of caves in real life. I've been in one, but it had like rails and stairs in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have been in like fucking natural caves. Maybe V.
I'd be afraid too.
How dark is
I
it?
actually haven't, surprisingly.
I've been in one cave and it was whatever. It did creep me out that there was like one part that was like way too small, and he's like, and they used to go in there in the 1800s, but you would have to one person at a time. And I was like, why?
I'm
Why-
very claustrophobic.
Have you been to Longhorn Caverns?
They went,
Have you been to Longhorn Caverns?
I don't think that was it. I don't know.
I think I've been to Carlsbad.
That one's in New Mexico. That one's cool.
San Antonio.
I do not
Anyway,
remember.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna take y'all to caves. I want to go to the caves with y'all after COVID, but we're gonna put it aside for Max. Take us away.
Sorry, I was coming up with names because I realized we were gonna have a bunch.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh no.
Hey, Bridge, did you name your parents?
It's more complicated than that. I'll try to walk them
Oh
through
boy.
it.
I think
Yeah.
everyone's just named after some sort of natural item or something.
See, I'm so glad you said that because that's what I was doing.
Okay, yeah.
Hey.
I think we discussed this. I think I noticed that there was one message that I thought I sent to you, but I accidentally didn't hit send.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Well, it's too
Love when
late
that
now.
happens.
Stacks hatch, they all flutter around, and they're named after the first thing they land on.
Oh, but they had two caterpillars.
Oh.
There's at least 60 people in the village named Dirt.
And half a dozen named Barack.
Mhm. This is why the Irish did what they did. There's like 50 different like Smiths. So you have like the Thatcher Smiths and the Horse Smiths.
Saxville Bagginses.
Oh
Or
my God.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Thief Smiths. Because
Oh my God.
one person happened to steal something, so you're just known forever as they're the thief family.
I was like, God,
Yeah.
F.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys arrive at the surface of the moon of Naomi.
I
What
am
does it
It's-
look like?
the
Um,
gravity.
so there's still like trees and life and stuff. Some water. And
I would assume.
and
It's swampy with like mushrooms.
and we're in a different place than Birch is. Like Birch has probably been here a few times, but it's pretty far away from the village and stuff. So you still got
I
some
like it
walking to
here.
do.
Okay, so I want to have a moment of like thinking. Trina's thinking and does notice the like gravity in this like everything's
Mhm.
lighter, wrong?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Science time with
You
Jim.
saw his
He's like,
photos
he's like-
and yarn.
And you saw Birch flying around as well.
What's
Yeah.
that?
You saw Birch flying around as well.
he's like, the moon. So talking no one in particular. It's like the moon is smaller. Planet, yes.
In terms of mass, yes.
And it gets lighter here. Now it's smaller.
I believe the sun has a similar effect on here. It's not any brighter here than well,
No, I mean weight, mass. It's lighter.
lighter. Oh, like
Heavy. It's light.
mm,
It's lighter here. The moon is smaller.
yes, that is correct.
I wonder if it tied to the size of the.
I'm not sure about the specifics, but I would think it would have more to do with the power of the god or goddess. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Aurora, just take a second to like shoot a smirk at Trent. Like you can see that I told you it had to do with magic in her face.
Well, the real answer is we don't know.
Okay, but can you do? All right. Do you have an explanation? Why is it lighter here? Do you have any? Why is it lighter here?
Well, let's see. I come from Ratera, and Ratera comes from Radin, and Radin comes from Asteri. So that seems to be how it works.
No. What? That's not my question.
Do you care to explain why it matters? We traveled to a different planet through a portal in my hands.
Yes. So if you went to a different planet that was equal to Rodin, then they would have the same likeness, of course.
Does that mean Valizon is less powerful than Rodin?
No, they should be equal.
Wait,
But it was heavier.
it was different.
on Valterra.
It was heavier,
It was heavier on Voltaire. Heavier on
but
Voltaire.
Valizon is the second son. Well, I don't know. It's complicated, I bet. Maybe you should ask Asteri sometime. Yeah.
Volterra is the heavier one, right? Out of character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Volterra bigger than Voltaire?
I haven't really compared sizes with my other planets. If we ever find
Don't ask the
Rotera,
lady
we could
fairy.
ask.
There's
Is
gotta be,
Valterra with us?
like on
Oh, sorry, Rotera. That was Volterra speaking. Rotera.
heavier planet, everyone is on a lighter planet, everyone is lighter.
Is
So
it
I'm-
because
But Naomi said it was because there was a power difference.
is it because Valterra has been forgotten about? That
No.
makes it lighter.
That could be it, actually. Rotera has been forgotten, although I would.
Wait,
does
wait,
make me
lighter
question-
or heavier? Because you could not fly on Rotera.
but it was
it wasn't the
That is
order.
true. Then why would. Maybe Rotera retains her power, though it is lessened than Valterra, because
I don't think
she
it's
is trapped, but not quite to the extent that she is a moon goddess.
I don't think this is god power. I think it's just physics somehow, but
what else would it be?
I'll sit down and control every movement of a cog, okay?
You know, not all of us has the privilege of an education.
Marcus has such interesting ideas about how things work.
Even those of us with education are getting a little lost.
Trey just throws up his hands and walks away. We're done.
Sorry, that was so hilarious.
Trying to have a meaningful conversation with you people.
I
You're
like
the
to think,
only scientist, Trent. I'm sorry.
When we get back home, I will be heralded as a genius for discovering something like this. You all.
I don't know if you discovered this.
I did discover it.
Hey, real quick. Did it come out what happened with Trent at home? I forgot what part of that
No.
backstory was revealed.
None of that
Okay.
has been revealed, and we haven't
Okay.
officially said out loud Trent is a vampire either.
I like to think that like Bethany looks up in the sky and sees like Rotera and notices like the very like subtle spin onto it and like just briefly makes the connection and then it's
Nah.
Nah.
I wonder if that has to, nah, that's whatever.
like she thinks about it and thinks about the moon and thinks about like swirling a bucket around in a circle when the water stays in and then just like keeps it to herself.
Over there, like, and the like medieval understanding of basic physics, and meanwhile, she's like, you know, when you spin a bucket,
Nah, he won't listen to me.
briefly.
Big buckets.
Just
You know, when you live on the farm, you have to find things to do for fun.
I do have.
You're telling me you weren't like 10 years old
Oh my
spinning
God.
buckets of water and be like, whoa!
I will do a whole.
No, that's actually fair.
Yeah, no, that's I do have a question.
Yeah.
Relationship. Where she looks at Asteri, but she doesn't quite meet her eyes this time, and she keeps walking forward, but she's looking out of the corner of her eye. Where is your domain? I've not heard of a place called Asteri.
My domain is all of the suns, including the ones that are currently inhabited by a god or goddesses.
Hmm.
Do you currently inhabit it?
Well, yes, I technically have domain over, for example, Raden's sun and Valizan's sun, though it's more complicated than simply saying I control it. My relationship to the universe is different than all of the other deities.
Quite sure I understand, but I think I get the basics. So everything is domain?
In a way, yes, although, in a way, no.
Yeah, that tracks.
Can you just say something like that makes sense?
Well, in the same way that Naomi, Nisa, and Ratera are Raden's domain, all of the stars are my domain.
I've got a.
It's like who controls other land. Like the king's castle technically holds reign over the lord's lands.
Yes. However, the king's castle also has their own. They have the castle and their own lands as well as
Like the
control
metaphor.
over lower domains.
You know, you are all wrong. The king only thinks they own this shit.
Yeah.
That is besides the point.
The metaphor does fall short at some point, but it's the
You
deli.
have do you have your own domain that is not owned by others?
I do control stars that have not been yet birthed into deities.
Do you have
Have
control?
we had the revelation that stars and suns are the same yet?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I should have said suns, but
Okay, I mean, she could have said stars, and Asteri will just be confused. That's fine.
in a way they are
Please.
stars because they don't have living people on the planet, so they
Yeah,
aren't the
that's
sun
kinda
to any group of people. So yeah, sure, she said stars.
Does this mean that Astera doesn't have domain over any planets? And
Well-
that's why we're confused about mortals?
Kinda. It's more like the further you get away from the control of something, the less you know about it.
She only controls mortals through intermediary.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So she doesn't like directly god over. She's like lord, like controls the gods, which then in turn control like the planets and specifics.
Basically,
You-
yeah. She's like the CEO, and they're like the middle manager.
Do you? I'm not quite sure what you mean by stars, but if I understand at least a little bit, does that mean you have no direct worshippers?
In a way, the gods and goddesses are my worshippers, but yes, I don't. I'm assuming some planets are known about me because of their gods and goddesses, but on Raden, for example, and Belizan, there are less people that know.
So, I got a big question. Y'all said that Raden erased pretty much Raw Terra, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when Raden catches wind of these two? And I point to Fortuna and Trent.
What? What?
What?
What? Wait, what? Me?
Oh, because
What?
you're from.
Oh, that's right. We're both from.
Well, everyone's
Is
from
that
there
a
except
thing
for
he can
Bird.
do?
I mean, it.
Could he just like pop them out of existence and we forget about them?
No, it was
Oh.
more of an effort. It wasn't per se magical. 3,000 years is a long time in terms of generational worship.
So it was more the destruction knowledge
Yes.
through more mundane
Okay. I misunderstood that.
and mortal hand.
Hmm. Essentially.
That is somewhat comforting.
No,
Yeah.
they're not getting rid of me that easily.
Oh, do you have
They're
many
gonna have to
worshippers?
try a little harder.
Myself.
I don't. You make it a bit easy to erase yourself when you do it your own. Quite so
Yeah,
frequently.
exactly. Only I erase me.
Only I erase.
All right.
I worked very hard to not be going anywhere for a very long time, by the way. So I'm not. No.
There's
All
the
right.
village. We're here. And you
that's
can barely tell the difference between the trees before the village and where the village actually starts.
I would have never guessed.
There is more water sources nearby. And then you can start to see in the trees more structures and things where people live.
Gotcha.
Birch
All in
climbs
up in
to
those
the structure,
branches.
but then realizes that the rest of them can't follow.
Yeah. Oh, birch can fly. Here.
Yes.
I guess we'll need to use. I don't know.
Lighter here.
Solar
Lighter here. Okay, get over this centrifugal force thing. I'm sorry.
Aurora's gonna like spread her wings, and even though they're like half step, she does still has sensation in them, so she's gonna like flap them and see if like is there any difference they feel when they move through the air.
They're a lot lighter now, yes. Yeah, a bunch of Lunari start looking out and seeing Naomi and Birch, who has been missing for quite a while.
Yay.
Ah, right.
Birch-
Wings go
Birch,
away.
like runs over or flies over and is like, "I've been having such an adventure."
Adventure!
I don't know how it happened, but I got transported to the planet.
Is Naomi here? Here? Like not a vision, but here? Is everyone seeing this?
Birch goes like,
There's a bunch of murmuring.
and says, "Ta-da!"
Hey, like, yeah, you're just like, guys, you'll not believe the adventure I had. Is that God?
Yeah, don't worry about that. Not important.
no.
Look at these weirdos.
No. Let me tell you about my adventure. We can talk about God later.
What are all these people? Birch, what is going on?
Uh,
I look at all these moths. How much pattern differential is there, by the way?
I feel like there'd be quite a bit, I guess, because they're not
Yeah.
like trying to blend in or anything. So
Yeah.
they probably would all have similar looks to real moths. Nothing like super crazy. I
No,
guess.
like electric blue, bright red, or something.
There might be some of them that have bright colors, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's, like,
That's true.
pink and yellow moths. But yeah,
But a bunch of different types. They're not all similar to Birch's coloring.
yeah.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Birch just like tells them everything. There's no details. It tells them everything, and it answers all their questions.
it seems like Birch has taken over for informing the villagers. We will have to stay down here, I suppose. Maybe it would be good to confer with Forrest, the elder of Linari, but for now we should probably discuss what we're going to do.
How high can I jump?
What?
Do it.
How high can I
Try.
jump?
Do it.
I jump up.
Make a strength check, I guess.
There's calculations for this, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Hang
my
on.
God, more math.
How much can you jump
Do it.
in a regular area on D&D?
I think it's based on your
Jumping.
strength score, right?
It's based on your
Vertical
strength
leap.
score.
Okay.
That's just not going to get
Jumping.
very far. at
A
all.
high jump,
Foot vertical leap.
3 plus strength if you move 10 feet. So I'm just
Is
gonna
that-
as everyone's talking, I'm just gonna back up, and then just boop, 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 then leap up. So that's
Well,
grand
that's-
total of
That's
that would be
horizontal, right? That's not vertical.
no high jump.
Oh,
3 plus
jeez.
strength feet. I have
Damn.
a 7-foot vertical leap with a 10-foot running start, and we're on the moon. How does that affect it?
Like, it's gotta be like 20.
You just leave the atmosphere.
No, I
In
feel
some
like
circumstances, your GM might allow you to make a strength athletics check to jump higher than you normally can.
okay, sure, make a strength check. How tall do I want to make the
A
structures?
standing high
think
jump, conversely, is 3 plus strength, then halved.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh wow. Gonna vault.
Athletics is a grand total of 11 plus 5, 16.
Okay, you're
I want to try and grab the closest branch I can.
just gonna jump up and like be a little bit lower than where Birch is. With
Oh,
all of
shit.
their family and stuff.
It just watches and like just silence, just like why?
Aurora has
They're like, Birch is like, oh, can they make it up here?
Aurora's eyes have like gone all big and like anime sparkly.
Why?
Can I jump up the rest of the way?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to climb up from there.
Hell yeah.
As she's climbing up, like, what if like a little caterpillar child comes and like starts crawling on her?
Sure,
Bethany?
why not?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah. I mean, how tall is Birch again? Like
Like
4
3
feet?
3. I was thinking 3 feet.
And I'd imagine you're about the average size.
Yeah.
It's probably like this big.
I was
No, I'm more thinking of
I
like
made my
all of the
willpower.
moth people
Yeah.
that Bethany is now around being 6'5".
What is it? Oh.
Or like waist high.
Yeah. There's like a little tall caterpillar.
Yeah, you kind of have to crouch around the
Hell
branches above
yes.
you and stuff, and the structures are like not quite
Oh, yeah.
built for your height.
I love this.
Are we all going to have to do that to get up
No.
there? Xaresh? Okay.
No.
We can like
Because I don't think I have the same level of leaping capabilities.
I suppose we
Yeah.
have lost Bethany, but that's okay. We'll figure it out.
Astra looks like she was about to jump, and then like when Trent spoke, she was like, "Oh, decorum, right?" And then like,
The core. Leap. What if she brought the whole thing down? Then where would it be? I don't know,
it's a
the block
building.
structure. Could handle this like full grown woman body.
I love her so much.
just lining up.
So cute.
Anyways, yeah.
Seems though, is this puppy cam now?
This is puppy camp.
Yes. Well, I suppose that we should discuss our options now.
Are you not to suppositions, but in my experience, I mean, I guess I don't have as much experience as I thought, but are you just going to be around now?
Well, essentially, but I imagine that this conflict will end one way or another within the week.
Within the week.
Within the week?
At least between the gods and the goddesses. The war itself, of course, after that settles itself, will take quite longer, or ideally will end immediately, but...
Is there a way, the only way I can think of to end such a thing that quickly without overwhelming power, which I presume we do not have?
Yeah, I don't know how powerful you think I am. I just kind of stab shit.
Is there a way to cut Rodin off? Section.
I know of
Section.
one way to be able to remove his powers. It's not ideal.
I thought of an idea.
What is your? Oh wait, but you're way up there. Do you hear us? I
I mean,
guess.
they could,
Sure, probably.
You shout down from the top of the trees.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have an idea.
Yes, Birch. What's your idea?
We could set a trap. We could figure out how to make. No, don't eat my microphone. You're charging my microphone.
She says
Um,
this is food.
Everything is food when your mouth is your main form of interacting with the world.
But so, you know how there's a cage that called Asteri?
Hmm.
What if we put Fortuna in a similar cage with a trap door that she can get out of?
I feel that we have
Wait. Why
better bait.
why me?
I
'Cause you
like
have a
that
portal.
plan.
You have a portal.
Interesting. And we could bring them here while they're still planning. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, until I'm stuck in a cage with a god.
I don't see the problem.
Yeah, of
There are
course you
definitely-
don't.
There are definitely
Some
flaws.
people have hit back
You
with-
could have a cage that just has a small hole big enough for your hand to go in. Then you can just pull your hand out.
No, I like putting the whole.
Now
So
we're
would the
cooking with
idea be
gas.
to force him to come through the portal that Fortuna offers?
We could make it to where
I don't know, because Valley Terra came willingly, but it could be possible that I could do something similar with Roden, potentially.
trick him.
Yes, that as well.
Will the cage actually hold him? Or was it designed only to hold you?
I
Well, it didn't
imagine.
do a very good job of holding her.
Well, that was because of Naomi's interference, but I believe it could potentially hold Roden. It's an idea.
How did you see this result?
How do I see it resolving within a week?
You said you believed it would be resolved within a week. Is that just you think we have a week until
I believe we have a few days until any major motions are made. And I imagine that if we don't have a way to stop Roden, that things will be similar to where they were.
so when you say things are resolved in a week, not favorably?
Well, it could be favorably resolved in that time. But I imagine that there will be no way to stretch out the time that we have. No.
It must be favorably resolved in that.
Yes. Unless we find some way to delay it, but I don't foresee any opportunity such as that.
Again, how do you think us, 5 mortal beings, have any chance of doing
to be
anything?
honest, I don't think that you will have much to do with this plan. I just wanted to give you all the opportunity to do what you will while I do what I do.
So
Hey,
you do have a plan.
I
Y'all
don't have a
remember-
plan yet, but I have the inklings of a plan, and I don't imagine that it'll involve you, though Birch brings up a great point about Fortuna's tattoo.
y'all remember that other vampire guy who set up that portal?
Luther?
Yeah. Didn't he say something like he was hijacking it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. he was
Essentially, once the
hijacking.
portal was laid bare, he was able to hijack it since.
So there's set roads between the roads, you can't see my hand quotes. I'm doing them, but you get it, right? There's
Are you
set
also
paths.
yelling down from the trees?
Yes.
Okay.
There's
Amazing.
set paths, right?
There are set entrances and exits, and then you can influence which entrance goes to which exit.
So we just got to make him think that Fortuna's tattoo is the main road.
That's one opportunity. I mean, we also could potentially deal with the portal that Rodin has already created and has been hijacked.
hijack it back.
We just got to make sure he only has one option.
Not that
That
bad.
Like, hunting rabbits in a burrow.
the downside to that is it is full of soldiers who are fortifying and actively hate us, and also are all tieflings, so only Fortuna could
No, I mean, we got to bring them here
What do you mean?
to trap them. I thought we were trapping them,
That is one option, yes.
right? So we set up one path that ends in a trap.
I believe I might be mistaken, but will we not have to cut off the other path in order to make ours the only viable one?
If I'm understanding this correctly, what you would have to do is find the entrance that Raiden was going to use and simply divert it to a different exit than he intended. You wouldn't have to cut off anywhere else because whichever one he intended to use, I don't imagine he would look for a different entrance unless he realized something was off.
So you found the rabbit warren, right? You plug all the other exits and you put a box at one of them.
Yeah, essentially. Although you can direct the tunnel directly to where you want, most likely, in other means. Although, I suppose if you plugged in all the other ones, that would also be an opportunity to...
What if we make it to where Rodin thinks Astera has escaped? Because he thinks she has no powers. Can't we lure him with that?
Use Asteri. I'd like that a lot more than using Fortuna as bait. It's a lot.
I like that too.
It's a lot
I was
more
Fortuna was
wondering.
just supposed to be bait.
prudent.
Fortuna was just supposed to be the door.
Okay, yes.
We have
Okay,
options.
okay. I kind of see where you're coming from. Redirect the path to me. Then you don't have to trick him. He would want to come anyways. And it may be easier.
The downside to that is be expecting you.
Of course.
He would know you were free. He would know you were working with Naomi.
Doesn't he already
Yes.
know that? Haven't we
He
He
established
suspects
that?
it.
He knows that, but he doesn't know if you change the path of where he's going, then he won't know that he's going directly to me. He probably would imagine he would be going to somewhere on Naomi.
Yeah.
That's actually a point. I was thinking of it incorrectly.
Also,
We have to find the exit here. Not the one on Rotera, which is guarded, but here.
and
Birch,
he's gonna
isn't
find
that-
out sooner or later.
Wait, Birch, you would know where the exit is because you use it the other way,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's true.
This plan becomes more
Do
and
I,
more
like-
viable.
I guess I could retrace my hunting route that day. Because I think that's what happened.
Mhm.
I was hunting and then things got weird.
Things got weird. Right, so he wouldn't expect us to know where he was going. But if we knew, then we could set up and lure him in as a trap.
He also
Would-
seems like an egotistical pushover, so we can exploit that. Also, I have realized I cannot get down.
Good job.
I have another suggestion.
You didn't. Okay.
If he does not know Asteri, would he be able to sense that you're free? Does he know that already?
No, I don't think he knows that I'm free. All he knows is that there was a great deal of power coming from Naomi.
Well-
Which he has directly not wanted. So he must assume that Naomi is in defiance of him. And I imagine that he would then assume that she is making a play with me. Now, whether Naomi would keep me trapped for her own power or whether I could be free might be a different calculation that he might not know.
That does change. I think it is imperative that we keep Asteri's involvement at least a mystery. It's the only her involvement and Valpero's involvement are the only surety that
It's the ace up our sleeve.
exactly.
Okay,
We could
so
use Naomi as bait.
to be clear, you five, you want to help capture Raden. You don't want to deal with the situation on Rotera or prepare the villagers here. You want to be able to win this all.
I do want my villagers to be safe.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, and I also
important.
don't know so much about capturing a god.
I want to do the most good.
land. I do care about the land here. I don't want that to be destroyed either. Hopefully we won't have to leave.
What? Circling back. Just a second. I think it's important to establish. You've been vague about the consequences of capturing him or your alternative. What exactly are our options for Raden here, and what exactly are the consequences? Sorry, DM.
No, it's okay. I know where I want this to go, but I'm trying to figure out who knows what, if that makes sense.
Take a second.
So give me a minute. Ooh. Well, I will say this. We have never been in direct conflict in the sense of battle. Ratera, or Raden, of course, betrayed me, but I did not oppose him in the same way that I would be now. So the consequences of that I cannot say. But I can say that I believe most likely they would be better than allowing Raden to have control over all systems unfeathered as he attempts, or as he desires.
Do you believe that you need our help here, or that we would be better served elsewhere?
You've given me a lot of ideas, and that would be helpful.
Fortuna, I believe it was Fortuna is correct. As much as I want to help, and as much as I am invested in the outcome, I do not know how much we can help in a battle between gods.
That is
Yeah.
my worry as well. I imagine.
Also, like,
I imagined that you wouldn't be of much help, actually, and that most likely your most good help would be dealing with the aftermath wherever you choose. There will be aftermath, no matter what. Whether we succeed or Raden does, I don't know where you would desire to help after that.
And you said two options before. Helping with the villagers, or what was the other one?
Helping with the armies fighting down in Rotera, the peoples of Rotera. There's a lot going on, of course. It's not simply two options, but the villagers here, of course, will be the most directly affected by a battle here, assuming that's what happens. But make no mistake, of course, Rotera will have, and every system, in fact, will be affected.
Be right back. Gotta go outside.
oh, okay.
Puppy has to piss.
If I had to imagine what would do the most good,
Hold on, Sierra's not.
oh yeah.
Yeah, wait for Sierra to come back.
Especially because like her phone plan is like one of the ones.
Everybody
Yeah.
look at baby.
Baby.
Oh.
She tolerates that for all of 15 seconds.
Good.
So how are you guys feeling about today so far?
It was a lot of fun.
Okay,
Feeling
sorry.
good. Lots of talking. Lots of good talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not that responsive. I feel like mentally, unfortunately, I'm like a little
That's all
socially
good.
fried of after like not preparing.
No, you're good. It's been 3 weeks too. I
Just
was
to be
getting
a
tired of
shit.
talk with Asteri. I
Mhm.
did not know what I was gonna do going in, but I don't know about anyone else. But I felt good about it.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Yeah.
dramatic.
This was pretty much the goal for the session. I
I
didn't
was
know
about
exactly
to
what
say,
was
I don't know
going,
how
but
much longer I can go.
yeah. Okay. I'll say what I'll say whenever Sierra gets back, and then we can end the session pretty much. I mean, not entirely, but we'll find a stopping
Yeah.
point.
We
pretty
can talk a
soon.
little bit out of character
Find a.
too about. We can have the long, drawn out of character discussion of like what helping each of these
Yeah.
on Discord. Over
Yep.
the week instead of immediately.
Yeah.
Or we could just not do that as well. Like that's also valid.
Sierra, can you hear us?
If we can get us to a point where we
Okay.
know
So,
enough to start talking
Asteri's
about it.
gonna say, what I
Yeah,
imagine is that the immediate backlash of a godly battle on the moon will be quite devastating, and that while there will be efforts needed on every system, most likely you need to get the Lunari out of here.
No! We care about our moon.
I
Yes.
care about it too, but it's not safe here. Asteri's right. Maybe you could meet my sister.
Oh?
Yes. It's not exactly as lively as around here, but Nisa is a very, very nice person. I'm sure she won't ask too many questions about what's going on if I just, ask her to borrow some of my villagers.
Insight check.
What if we just set the battle somewhere else?
I think it's hard to because we need to direct him to a place, and he's coming here. We're
Can't
hijacking.
he teleport anywhere?
Well, yeah, but we're hijacking the exit here because he's coming to Naomi.
So Rodin can teleport
True.
anywhere, but he can't teleport anyone else anywhere, essentially.
Yeah.
Unless he makes the big portal thing.
As long as
24, by the way.
Yeah, so Nisa isn't exactly on Naomi's side, but she would do a favor for her, not really ask any questions or anything.
Okay,
you
so
borrow my,
genuinely probably not ask questions.
you borrow my species for a little bit, like this race of people that I'm in charge of. It's like
Just hold them for a minute,
Just a second.
it's just like God's
I'm
doing.
a
It's like
little bit on. I have to do some house cleaning, so like
Well,
I
he's
have
dead.
to
He's been out of the house
He's
for a
from
little
going in
He pets it.
Oh man.
So B is having trouble. There they
oh,
go.
there we go.
Well, it's an okay spot to end the session anyways, because that's
Yeah.
pretty much.
I think of.
Yeah, so right. So the point is to get Radim to use the portal. I mean, ultimately he would come here anyways, but I imagine that you would know that's kind of where he appears, I guess, because it's the same entrance. Or Asteri knows, whatever. You guys don't have to know that, whatever. But yeah, essentially the battle will take place here unless something drastic were to happen.
You'd have to convince him to go to a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not that wouldn't be very well. I don't know. There might be. I'll have to think about that for a while.
We'd have to, we would have to have a.
We
There's
need
no
to strategize.
good answer for this either, because like anywhere you put it, anywhere you could convince him to go, is gonna have people.
Yeah.
And at least it is Luna. Is it Lunali or Lunala?
Let me check my notes.
That's what it says on my character sheet.
Yes, it is the Luna. I know now. What did you say? The
What?
What does it say in your notes? Sorry, I don't think I wrote it down.
Lunala.
Lunala. Okay.
I named it, so I feel bad about enforcing it. So like, feel free to change it. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any good options here for where to put it.
No.
And at least the Lunala would like listen to. Naomi's on our side, would talk to them. We can probably get them to go to Nisa's place with relative ease compared to like. Can you imagine trying to convince the country that we're exiled from to move?
How do we can we make those portals like Luther did?
So Asteri still has some of her powers. Just like she brought you here, she could potentially move a village. Between and not very far, like with that many people. She doesn't have as much power as Rodin has, for example. She can't travel that far. But she could move a village from one moon to another very close. Without a connection, I think.
Would Rodin
Oh, without a connection?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of like plot holes or anything. But like
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Asteri can't just go to another system or something. But because of the Valley Terra seeking her out through the connection that Fortuna had, she was able to move 7 people through a system.
Gotcha. And we could be at the exit to, like, we could be at the portal place, which means we could probably move the village through that.
Yeah.
We'd be using that to like shove everybody off, and then using it to trap.
Margot is trying to dip her paws into her water bowl.
Anyways,
Oh.
I think instead of waiting for V, we're gonna end the stream here if that's all good
right.
with everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Good
So everyone have a good week. It is Sunday night. Congratulations. You've made it
Yeah,
through
you
the
mid it through.
weekend.
You made
First
it into
weekend of 2021.
Anyways,
Uh,
good night, everybody.
2020.
good night, everyone.
Good night.